Is.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Jake, Professor Spike, and Arjun, streaming live from Long Island, New York, and Oakland, California. And New York, the weather's cooled off a bit. It was pleasant to take a walk today, unlike the last couple of days.
Nice.
How about Oakland?
A little foggy, but it's nice, 63,
That's
64.
That's smoke.
Well, Wall Street.
It's not smoke. It's not smoke.
Wall Street is doing okay, basically. It's a split market today with the Russell continuing to show weakness. And the NASDAQ strong today, the S&P having an okay day, and the Dow is kind of flattish. We'll look at the averages. I want to look at the chart of the Russell one more time.
Yeah.
More and more people calling for a downturn in the market. Now, I don't know if that makes me happy or sad.
But now that you're 95% cash, right?
Yeah.
I was deep on cash, but now I'm putting business. But after our last show, it was like a couple of bargains. So I spent all my money on some of these bargains.
Yeah, well, I went out of the market completely, and now I'm 8% in.
8%, okay.
The 8% is in.
That's
8%. Okay.
Would you say 80 or 8?
8.
Okay.
8% in. Albo.
Well, mostly when we were looking at those charts on Friday, most of them were like dip your toe in or take a nibble.
Yeah, I
So
took
a nibble here, a nibble there, a nibble here, a nibble there.
Yeah.
I took a very big position on Albo, but I also took a smaller positions on a Novus, bought it at 104. Sava, bought it under 100.
Yeah.
Anavex, I added that at 24. And what else did I do? CRISPR, I added at like 139. And
I hasn't really come through.
I bought some Ntla and Edit as well to round it out.
Okay.
That's my
the Novus is looking great.
I also made a fairly big purchase of HGEN, which is one of your MABs, monoclonal antibodies, Professor Spike, that's been shown to stop the cytokine storms that the COVID-19 patients have been experiencing. And I guess MABs have an anti-inflammatory action. And
those monoclonal antibodies was one of the things they were discussing when the vaccines weren't ready yet. It was that, steroids, and pretty much it.
Well, Humanigen, it looks like they're going to get approved in the UK very shortly.
Okay.
And the FDA.
Was that an antiviral?
No, it's a monoclonal antibody. You're more experienced as to what that is. It's not the viral, right?
No, essentially, it attaches to certain things on the cell so that it's recognized, and then your own immune system could take care of it.
Right.
So, it's sort of like it's instead of an immunological thing where you get your own body to create the antibodies, they put the antibodies in to react to specific spots.
That's what Regeneron, with like that cocktail that they had. That was.
It must be similar in action to the Regeneron and Lilly drugs.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
They're also monoclonal antibodies, so must be very, very similar.
Professors. Montes is great. He doesn't disappoint.
We have our albo fans, and today is not a good day for albo.
We gotta whip that horse.
Very strange. Very strange.
We're going to look at the chart of albo.
Yeah.
First thing out and we'll try to analyze where it might be going from the chart.
All right, HRTX down.
And also try to talk, maybe we'll talk a little strategy as to how to protect our long positions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna start looking. I mean, I have a huge position in Albo, so I'm gonna start looking at what the $30 puts for August cost. I haven't even looked. Not because I think it's gonna get rejected. It's just because you got to protect.
Yeah, it looks like I made one smart move.
When you got a lot of money on the table, you got to put some hedging bets down.
I did buy back a Novus, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, well, that was fine.
Yeah. Cabinet guy from the Green Mountain State of Vermont.
Cabinet.
ALBO, low volume.
I haven't heard of that one.
I wonder why such disinterest with a PDUFA coming out on 6 trading days from now.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it has very few outstanding shares to begin with, and then 93% of them are owned by institutions. So where's the volume going to come from, I guess, is the question.
Well, retail usually likes to come into these special plays, these binary plays.
They do. But this one's one of the least known that I've seen. No one's really talking about it.
Yeah, it's really it's flying under the radar. Either it's going to be a panacea for us or a disaster, one or the other. So how to mitigate the possibilities of a disaster is what we're going to talk about. There's always a possibility of rejection, even on drugs that look really strong. The possibility of approval, even on drugs that look very weak, like the recent Biogen approval. So you never know with the FDA, they totally unpredictable.
Yeah, I'm looking at the open interest on the puts for August. It's really tiny. Nobody's buying them. No one's selling them. It's the stock is just basically it's like it doesn't exist.
Yeah. Well, I own a lot of calls. That's what I went into, deep in the money, 17 and a half calls. So I control,
for August. For August?
For August. I control a lot more shares than if I had bought the stock.
Oh, but you got a lot of time in terms of fallout between the announcement.
Look, if I'm wrong and it's not approved, I will lose everything because it's likely to get cut in half. So I'm getting leverage, but at greater risk.
Yeah, and it would be nice if you had the opportunity to sell calls against your buys. You could do that, but then that mitigates your upside. So I don't know if I love that. Maybe more of like is that called a straddle where you buy calls and puts?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at adding some. I'm possibly going to add some puts.
The whole idea about hedging is to actually go against what you've been positioned, is not to back it up.
You know, it's an interesting play. You buy puts and calls that expire in July with a hope of an early decision. You get them a lot cheaper.
What are we talking about this Friday for?
What are the odds that the FDA comes out this week with a decision as opposed to?
I put it at almost zero. I think if decisions are early, what I've seen is they're way early. I don't know if they're going to be 5 days early. That doesn't really make sense to me.
Right.
Biogen decision was several days early.
How many?
I don't remember. Maybe
earlier than I wanted.
Maybe 3.
It was a day earlier than I was hoping for.
Yeah.
Dustin needs to sell his off before his head falls off.
Well, somebody needs to buy off.
I still have calls in off with the hope of a potential takeover, buyout. Yes.
Yeah, I saw this article too.
Jeffries also mentioned ARWR on that list, and also Ntla, NTLA was on that list, along with 9 other companies. There were
Really?
12 altogether. And we're going to look at 3 of them today: NTLA, Albo, and ARWR.
And
Yeah,
we're going to look
Arrowhead.
since that's what we were talking about for a while.
No, I mean, so what Stanley's saying is why I'm in here. I mean, I really like the CEO a lot. He has a good track record, and I mean the data. If they don't get approval, it's going to have nothing to do with the efficacy of the data. It'll be some weird manufacturing technicality, but even that I see as low likelihood. I don't really. I'm still not worried. I'm just starting to think about
too many bugs in the drug, too many little flies and wings of insects or something. Something weird like that.
Some butterfly in the jungle across the world flapping its wings.
Yeah, I mean this one will shock me if it doesn't get approved.
bcrx is another one that could be taken out.
Well,
yeah. Well, cabinet guy's trying to equate what happened with bcrx versus albo, and he actually has a good point. The bcrx run up was only like a day and a half before, and even that was only like a 15% move. So we have time, but I still think we should look at hedging. I don't know if I will hedge because I don't know if it'll be priced right, but we can look.
I feel it's worth my throwing out a few bucks down the toilet bowl just for a good night's sleep.
Yeah, Spike, what'd you say?
You're saying hedging on bcrx as well?
No. I'm trying to compare the run up.
No, I get it. I wanted to make sure everybody understood. That was so very, very bullish.
I guess
bcrx is fine. bcrx is fine.
The story joked with XPAV and Neo is a story with all the Chinese plays. There's a lot of reason to question whether you should be in any Chinese stock, with threats of delisting, all kinds of nonsense going on. So really, that's the issue. XPAV is a great company. Neo is a great company. And if you want to discount all the hype about what the Chinese might do, then that's probably a good buy.
Agreed.
By the way, our opinions are strictly our own and do not constitute investment advice. Check with an advisor before acting on anything we say. Do your own due diligence. And tell your friends about us. And most important, hit that subscribe button so you know when we're on next. Very important to us that you hit that subscribe button. Makes Yahoo like us more. I mean, YouTube. Yahoo don't matter too much. SNPX. I'm not in it. Any of you guys in it?
I'm not in very many things at all, though. So.
Yeah, biotech seems to be off the highs, where everything else seems to be at the highs, but not everything. It's really, leadership is thinner than you think. It's mainly the tech that's been leading the market and some value plays. So I think the leadership is thinner than you think, with the Russell actually treading water and can't seem to get over the hurdle of its triple top. We're going to look at the Russell 2000, which is more representative of the overall market than is even the S&P. And NVIDIA company.
The general rule was that when a stock announces a split, that's good news, at least in the immediate term, because they're easy to buy and they're more liquid, and that's sort of an optimistic kind of thing. But then soon after the split, there's some sort of a hangover, and so while the news is there and it's not quite split yet, it's a nice position to be in, but there is a little bit of a blip down after it gets executed.
After the actual split, there's sometimes weakness in the stock.
Like the honeymoon's over
Yeah.
for a sec, and then you get some sort of rebound.
It even happened with Apple, where after the split.
Yeah.
Down.
Yep.
And the opposite happens with the reverse splits, obviously.
Yep. I don't agree with Stanley's comment here. I think we're going to see something similar to what happened on the phase 3 data. If it's approved, we're good, is basically what I'm saying.
We need some Wall Street bets type.
Well, I mean, look, we've had experiences where PDUFA was not necessarily taken by the market as good news, but we like it because overall it means good health.
Right.
Well, I can't see it going down after approval, but anything is possible.
So here's another thing, though. The EU approval is very soon after the US one, and the EU CHMP already gave a positive recommendation. So I do think this could be a domino effect type of deal where you have a series of catalysts to help it go to maybe 60 or 70, but we'll see. I mean, the first one is the most important one, obviously.
I'm still thinking 52 after approval, pre-market.
Yeah, that sounds right. Based on the phase 3 data, was at 50 pre-market. So sure, something in the 52 to 55. I could buy that. Yeah.
There's some sort of perverse logic that says if we don't have a run up to PDUFA and it gets approved, then we won't get the drop down that we'd seen. That
we might get a bigger pop up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just because it's sort of like a rubber band, and so the rubber band's not being stretched, so it's not waiting for anything.
Yeah,
it's a perverse logic.
It's a lot of speculation. Yeah.
No, Stanley on the William Blair conference will already know whether the drug was approved, and I think.
No, that's 2 days. That's in 2 days.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah, so we won't know unless something happens.
So I don't think he's going to comment on it at all, then.
Yeah, he'll make vague comments. I mean, we'll see if there might be questions at the conference that come up, but I agree. I don't think it's going to help us. I don't think what he says is going to help us make a decision.
No, his name is not Gerd Kirsten. He's not going to, no I believes or we believes or any of that.
Well, Gerd wrote a nice letter saying that he really thinks that he's going to get approval anyway because he actually looked at these possibilities in advance before they saw the data. I mean, what he said was convincing, but it was convincing to me, but not to the market.
Here's an optimistic note for Sorrento. I guess they have a monoclonal antibody cocktail for COVID-19, I'm guessing, because he's comparing it to Regeneron and AstraZeneca. And they both failed in their cocktail, apparently. But Sorrento works with Mount Sinai, apparently, according to Patrick. Patrick is a big SRNE fan. Maybe we should look at that. I'm in something similar with HGen.
Yeah, no, I jumped into Sorrento about 2 or 3 weeks ago, only because, like we said, maybe it's the real thing this time.
Yeah. Here we have some crypto talk. I don't know. I'm not that familiar with APTY, but I could look at the chart if we have time.
Yeah. I'm writing it down anyway.
Myovant. Pfizer had an option to exercise the rights to the drug for prostate cancer in the EU. The drug was approved in the EU, and they got a second approval in the US for uterine fibroids, and now it's down. It's always that way. It's sell the news. It's really crazy. I hope that doesn't happen with the albo, but you gotta you got to be vigilant. I don't think it will because we haven't had a real good run.
So we haven't had an extreme run up for it to bounce back.
Yeah, the market cap it's so low. I'm not super worried about a pullback.
All right, I think it's time to start trotting some of this stuff.
Yeah, let's do it.
So first, we got to get rid of this comment because this is a 12-1.
Yeah, I'll get rid of that comment. Trying to get rid of it. Slowed down as soon as I did share screen. I canceled the screen share because I could not get rid of the comment. Hopefully the screen doesn't slow us down too much. I want to start with the rut.
It's good. There's a question for you from Stanley, Arjun.
Will they be cash flow positive on their first approval on first indication? I do believe so, based on the market potential that I've seen. And I do think, like, from what it's unclear because management's talked briefly about commercialization strategy, but I do think the fact that the US and EU are getting approved very much at the same time, I think that's going to help this get to cash flow positive a lot sooner than most other drugs. Is the phone ringing?
Yeah, I'm going to try to shut it. I have all kinds of phone.
He's a popular guy, especially during the show. It's like,
yeah, very popular in general. Everyone wants to know what to buy. I get a lot of phone calls. Should I buy it? I'm very good at
telling me my extended warranty is expired.
I'm very good at entry points. I'm not as good with exit points.
You're right. You and millions of other people who play the stock market.
Yeah, I guess so. But we have on the rut, on the positive side, a strong series of higher lows beginning 12/31/20, even lower. But certainly beginning in December, we were down quite a bit at 1927. And then we kept making these higher lows. Next one in January 29th at 2066, then gradually increased to a lower low back here on May 12th of 2132, higher low. Everything's higher low. And finally a higher low of 2229 on June 18th. The next low was the first time we've had a strong indication of a problem with a lower low. The lower low on 7/8 when I sold a lot of stuff. And that was 2390. What was that low? 2392. No, that can't be. That
no, it's lower.
2192.
Yeah.
So yeah, now it's 2253, down 1.25%. And I drew the trading range right at the high. It bumped up against that 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 times without success. So there's a big wall of resistance at about 2360. It's got to take that out before I will be coming back in 100%. So right now it's a rut that's got me a little worried. And on the other hand, it's trading in the upper half of its trading range. I drew 2 trading ranges. one going back to 129, beginning of the year practically, and the other one going back here to May 12th. The more recent one is between 2132 and 2360. So that's 240 points. It's not a huge trading range, but it's still significant, and it's been in it for a very long time. And if you go back again to early January, they extended the trading range to 2075. So 2075 to 2359, that's not even 400 points, and that's for the year. It's a modest trading range, but we're in it, and we may just stay in it for a while longer. So maybe the way to go is you short the rut when we get to when we're knocking at the door of resistance, and you go long when we drop back to that 2130 area. So it looks like a nice swing opportunity. If you bust through, the direction is clear. I think if it busts through, it'll bust through with at least a 10% move, at least, probably more. And if it busts below the January low of 2066, then I think the C word is possible. Not correction, but crash. So I think the rut is very important to look at.
Yeah.
Whereas the S&P, it just runs, room to run, it seems. Dow as well. So this is a key index that troubles me. And it's easy to figure out because all you have to do is draw a few horizontal lines. You don't have to be genius levels.
Nothing to add. That makes sense.
Yeah. Let's take a look at albo. For some reason, you is looking, but that's okay. I'd like to see my
screen's freezing up. Internet.
I think he's frozen again.
It was loading quickly.
There he is.
Show, so it's
Oh, this is HGen, okay.
like I said, it was loading nicely.
Yeah, I think.
You see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen. You're doing HGen now.
Yes. I'm going to try hitting full screen.
Right.
Also, the audio is breaking up a little bit.
It is.
The S&P is still up modestly on the day. Your management has got a nice move, 3%, 51 cents to 1747. I bought it under 17, probably back around here. And, you know, it looks like it put in a nice low after a big sell-off on Thursday. So it looks like Friday was a nice low. It closed well on the day. It's a nice candle, long shadow on the bottom. And the only thing stopping it right now is that 100-day moving average. It stopped exactly at the 100-day, and it's starting to give back a little. Let's see if it can cross that and try the 50 again. The 50 is what repelled it on Thursday. So I think it's broken out of its downtrend, and now there's better days ahead for Humanigen, and I'm looking. I've been lucky with this one a few times, so I'm looking to cash in at around 25 or maybe more on this one. If you connect these two lines, we're not even there yet. Even looking at it as a continuation of a downward trend, it has room to move up. So I kind of like this one. Try to draw a channel. It's a pretty meaningless channel, but I'll take it up. All right, I'm not drawing meaningful lines, but let me just say that the stock looks like it came out of its trendy downtrend at the 200. It was found support at the 200. I believe the next big move is up, and I think we challenge 2237 in the next week or two. That's where I think we're going, and we get past that, then we're looking at 2353. We get past that, it could really run. And what are the catalysts? UK approval and potential FDA approval of their monoclonal antibody. Again, for COVID-19, very sick COVID-19 patients. I think it's similar to Sorrento. I think that's what they're into as well. Should we chart Sorrento for comparison?
Sure.
Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, I agree that COVID is still very much relevant in terms of bioplays.
Yeah,
for those that thought it was over.
And the news keeps talking about it, especially with this variant.
Yeah, I think it's
And
yeah, the variants.
We have some people who don't want to take this shot.
Yep, quite a few.
There's a high correlation between who's getting sick and who hadn't taken the shot.
Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, right. Science. It's not just a concept.
Well, recently I saw a headline from Bank of America where the equities analyst, head of equities, called for the 4 Ps as reasons to be wary of this market. And the first P was pandemic. So it's still around. I don't remember the other P's. Policy, price, maybe. I can't remember. Okay, so Sorrento, this is a different kind of chart than the Humanigen, because they turned up a lot earlier. They turned up, they finished going down May 13th, put in the bottom, and has been going straight up, and then unfortunately broke through its upward channel, showing a significant downward move all the way to 790 from a peak of
like 11, yeah,
1107. So that's a significant fall. This would have been enough for me to probably say, sayonara, I'm out. And right now it hasn't done enough to convince me that the downtrend is definitely over.
Yep.
So this one is more questionable on the chart, but ultimately what matters is the fundamentals ultimately matter. So if they have a monoclonal cocktail that's going to work better than the Regeneron, better than what Humanigen has, better than whatever's out there, then throw the chart out and buy all you can buy.
Well, the chart's not showing it if that's the case.
No, the chart is not reflecting it. It is not.
So the K gave us pandemic price, positioning, policy, and profits.
What are they again? Positioning?
Positioning and profits was one you were missing.
Okay.
That's 5 actually.
What are they again? Pandemic?
Pandemic, price, positioning, policy and profits. I think I'm not really sure. I think positioning means the whole government. Where the senators are.
Well, policy is where I think that would be the Biden administration.
Right.
Profits and price seem like the same thing.
Right. So there you go.
Okay. So look, there's reason to be scared. There's always reason to be scared when you're in the market. Now, is this a Bank of America call to sell everything? I don't think so. It's just an alert that maybe we're a little oversold now. Maybe we correct. I don't think it's a major call to the downside. It's not a good headline, but I don't think we should overreact either. I sold everything with the idea of doing some big trades and playing it that way, swing trades.
Yeah.
And the first one is albo. I hope I'm off to.
Yeah. I've been noticing, because I've been spreading myself so thin, that even when I catch a winner, I don't really even make that much off of it. And so I've been thinking in a similar way that it's time to just start selling and just really consolidate and focus on a couple. I haven't succeeded in that yet, but I could see that as being a direction, or at least a theme going forward.
That's definitely what I'm doing. I'm in like seven stocks or less. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Well, I actually, besides a fairly significant position in albo, I'm in Innovis, I'm in Sava, I'm in Anavex, all three of them. I'm in CRISPR and Ntla and Edit. So that's.
Are you in bcrx at all?
And HGen and bcrx.
Okay, because that was the one that most of us.
And auph and auph. So I still have a significant number.
Yeah. Well, for you, if the number is less than 40, then that's great. I mean, like I said, it's taking all of my brain cells to keep track of the 50 or so that are spread out.
This is on the Jeffries takeout list, albo.
Yeah, let's take a look. Let's take a look at our friend albo that's not running into PDUFA. But it's also
down
not
3.38%.
Yeah.
This is a significant drop today to 34.15. With the averages, S&P flat, Dow flat, NASDAQ up almost half of 1%.
Yeah, but if you look at XBI is doing the same thing as this.
And the Russell is getting slammed. Russell is getting slammed. Also.
Yeah.
Okay, 1.39% on the Russell, 3.38% on Alberio Pharma down today.
Let's take a look.
Okay. We had a wonderful upward channel going, and now we have a not so wonderful downward channel.
We haven't taken out the low from 4 days ago yet. That would be not good. 33.73. That we need to hold for sure. If that gets taken out, I'm gonna start looking at. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna think harder about hedging.
Well, I don't know what the price of the puts are. I don't think they're that expensive.
If you get a $30 put for August, you got to pay like $2, I think.
So if you want to count off the days, you can do so. We started here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days straight down. That's not a good shot. We don't like that. But it came down from 37.34 to 34.13. So it's really only 10%. It dropped 10%. I mean, after a run, let's see where it was. Everything's relative from 27.50. So it went from 27.50 to 37 and change. It's nice, beautiful 10-point move only to give back 3 points. So relatively speaking, it gave back what, 30% of the recent move up.
Yeah, you could argue this is a nice little handle forming.
Well, what you could do is take a look at the
Not until it
Fibonacci.
turns back up again.
We could take a look at the Fibonacci retrace and see where that takes us.
Well, yeah, I mean, but yeah, until it moves back up, of course. But that would be next week, right?
We hope.
Right, because the question would be which one's the cup and which one's the handle.
There's just certain stocks where like I just choose to pick fundamentals way more than the chart. This is going to be my number one of that forever. I've studied this one.
bcrx was like that for a long while.
Yeah, I'm just not going to be scared of this yet. I can't.
Where's my Fibonacci's retrace? Can't find it. Where'd it go? I can't find it. I can't find it.
You're eyeing it out anyway. It's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, it might. Well, I was curious if it would be at the 38.2 retrace.
Right.
Or not. Or where that is, but I just can't find it. I don't know why. Isn't it an indicator? It used to be an indicator, not a
it should be there. It should be there.
Should be there.
You might just have to scroll down.
I did. E's, there's no F's, fractal. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't see it either. It goes straight from elder ray to fractal.
Weird.
Yeah. I've got this on the air before, you know.
It's not Fibonacci anymore.
I've done it on the air before. And now I can't find it. Fib. Oh. I'm going to have to give up. I can't find it.
Yep.
In any event, this is on the list of takeout candidates. So here's a positive scenario. Come Tuesday at 5:30 p.m., we get approval. And the stock goes to 52 in the pre-market and comes back down maybe to the low 40s by the end of the day. Typical reaction. And then EU approval comes and we go back, jump to 60.
Yep.
And then
That's the fear
bio comes at 120. You like that?
I mean, I've been thinking about that exact. I agree. I think that's possible.
Yeah.
It just makes sense given the market potential. 120 to 150. That makes a lot of sense to me given assuming $1 billion peak revenue. Yeah.
Now, if it's not approved, it's not the only play in its pipeline. They have two other
Yeah,
drugs.
Allegiles. Yeah, they do have multiple outs, and I mean they're trying to build a liver franchise. Like really, it starts with pediatric, but they're trying to just get the whole population.
Yeah, I don't know the names of everything. One begins with CHOL. Yes.
Poliostatic. Yeah, I forget how to pronounce it, but you're right. They do have multiple outs. This is what I was assuming would be the foot in the door to really capture a huge market.
This is for pediatric population. It's an orphan drug.
Yep.
There's a lot of political pressure to prove this.
Yeah, it got fast track also. I mean, there've been multiple physicians that have come out with videos recently just touting this drug. I mean, and then the
And
EU CHMP gave it the positive recommendation. If EU
yet,
approval doesn't happen, I'd be shocked. Yeah.
and yet we get a move to the downside today, which is bewildering.
Yeah, I mean, it's partially based on bio weakness, but yeah, I mean, I'm still surprised. I thought by now we'd be testing 38s, 39s,
Yeah,
but we're not.
yesterday it started off weak and came back, which was encouraging, and basically finished in the middle of its candle. And today it's really at the bottom of the candle, in danger of such a negative day that it would break the channel. And what you don't want to see is a retest of the low from Wednesday of last week, 33.80.
Exactly.
Almost there.
That's
Yeah,
where
I
I'm
mean,
worried. That's
yes,
where I'm like, what's going on?
if it breaks this line that I drew at 33.80, that's trouble. You know, that's real trouble. So we want to see this hold. 33.80.
And I think it will. But yeah, we'll look.
We have a few more hours of the trading day to find out. So this is just a frustrating day for albo longs.
Rusty makes a good point. Unless there's some sort of at least credible discussion about buyout or something, there's no reason to expect that this thing's going to behave the way we're hoping it would.
Well, this takes us back to Patrick's question. Would the CEO on the 15th give a hint of possible buyout discussions? That question could be posed to him because of the Jeffries article. And if so, he could say, well, we're always open to discussions in the best interest of our shareholders. That's the kind of answer that they usually give.
Well, that's really a non-answer.
Right.
Well, if he says he's been fighting off a lot of suitors, then I'd be a lot happier.
But if he says that we have been talking to people, then it could fly.
Right.
Yeah.
Then it could.
I care about the approval way more than the buyout.
At this point, the
next one on that Jeffries list is Ntla Therapeutics. Ntla Therapeutics.
Is this one of the gene editing ones?
This is the CRISPR. Rival.
This is the one that had a jump up on some news. Liver, I think it was.
Yeah, the news was that they're curing a rare pediatric disease.
Right.
And it actually is the first time that that any of these gene editing companies have been able to make that assertion. So it looks like the cure for a rare liver disease. And they have a delivery system that I don't know how it works exactly, that they can actually modify the genes in the liver. Pretty neat. I mean, it jumped all the way to 202.73. It's backed off almost a third to 144, and actually it jumped the day of the news. Where did it jump to? The day of the news was 144, just where it is now. That's interesting. Let's draw the horizontal line. Of course, there's a big gap. Do you think that gap will be filled? I answered that in the negative the last time we posed it. That's the gap. And this is the other end of the candle from that day. So basically, we're retesting the middle of this green candle here. The high of the day on the 28th is acting as support. We kind of dipped below it slightly on Wednesday, and now we dip below it slightly again today. I like it. I think we probably are near support on this one because people want to own this. People want to be in gene editing. Kathy Woods wants to own this, and so do a lot of other people, institutions and retail. So I think this is the hot, innovative, disruptive technology, the kind of technology that Kathy Wood talks about all the time. So this is a Kathy Wood play, so to speak, but it's also a Jeffries play, with the analysts thinking this is a likely takeover candidate. So this is another one that we should be vigilant on about. I own more CRISPR than I do this. I think CRISPR is a takeout candidate as well. I called that on the show a couple of weeks ago, right, Professor Spike?
You certainly did.
I said CRISPR looks like a takeout candidate. It reminded me very much of Juno in the early days of immunotherapy, when immunotherapy biotech started IPOing. They went crazy. It reminded me a lot of Juno. CRISPR did. But this is a good play as well. I own some, along with Edit. We can't chart Edit because we have too much to chart. Novus, right? You want to check
You also wanted to do AUPH because we were talking about it. We're on a similar subject.
AUPH is another takeout. Okay.
Yeah, it's on a similar subject, so we have to talk about it now.
Okay. We've been talking too slow. We're not going to get around to everything.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a double top to take out a target. Nice target. Double top is the target. $15. Hit it twice. And now I'm refreshing my screen because I had a stale screen according to Verizon. Verizon says it needs to be refreshed. And you know, we're going to torch you a little bit more before you could see the chart. Thank you very much, Verizon. I'm going to short Verizon, I think. All right. Okay, so we have the double top of 15. We tested that top back here on June 25th. June 25th. It reached 1484, which is good enough to be called a double top. And since then, we've been trending down.
Yeah.
So why do we like it? Only because it's a takeover candidate. If it wasn't a takeover candidate, I wouldn't be in this one. But what I did is I can tell you what I did. I bought the September calls. No, January calls. January 22s, figuring if something's going to happen, it should happen before the end of the year.
Nothing happens too fast around here.
Yeah, I don't really care about the chart too much. It's trending down. I mean, I don't like that, but I'm staying with my calls, not adding to it. You want to see some positive news? There's a big engulfing candle on the 8th of July. True, it was a tiny candle a day before, but it came at the end of a long downtrend. So far, that bottom is holding. So there's good news there. We had a big engulfing at 1175. We have a double top at 15. So new trading range, 1175 to 15. In other words, I think we're done going down. it's a little too early to make that call, considering this candle today, which is very weak. I know we're only down 33 cents, but that's 2.63%. And it kind of ruins the upward momentum that we had over the last couple of days. So, we can still draw a positive slope through 2 candles. And, it's quite possible, like I said before, that we have bottomed at 11.75. I'd like to see that big engulfing candle take us all the way back up to the $15 area. I think that could happen. Okay, what's the other takeout candidate? BCRX.
Arrowhead.
Now, BCRX is much more than a takeout candidate. Whereas Arrwrand is only a takeout candidate.
Right.
Yeah, BCRX I've stopped even looking at. I just hold it.
Right.
I just feel very confident with this one. I don't know.
I wrote puts for the 16s for January, and I wrote puts for the 16s for July. So if it slips below 16 on
Get some
Friday,
shares.
I will get some shares. Otherwise, I just pocket the money. So I don't really care. I could always pocket the money and buy some more shares. Immaterial.
It's consolidating really nicely. It's just forming a very convergent looking V.
You have the same problem as you have with Arrwrand. You have basically a double top.
Yeah, it's gonna take revenue, Q2 revenue to break that.
Yeah. We also have, I think, pretty good support on this big red candle, I think.
Yeah, I don't think it's
So
the worst idea to buy some August calls.
I might roll. I have July calls. I might roll them over into August.
Because if you think Q2 earnings are going to be good, I mean, there's no reason to not bet on that at least a little.
Yeah, I'll probably be rolling my calls over.
Yeah, I probably will buy a few in the money.
So I think 15. What is this? 15.18. This low is 15.20. I think that's the low. So 15.20 to 17.70, let's say. $2.50 range. I think we're in that range right now.
Yep.
You can forget about the upward channel was broken both directions, so that's non-applicable.
Just consolidating.
So basically, we're in a trading range right now on BCRX. I took out the top of it for some reason.
Rusty Limbo saying that these stories are all part of a bigger story. That if you look at
there we go. Look at. Is this a beautiful trading range or what? This is really a beautiful trading range.
I love it. Yeah, it's narrow enough that you can do it pretty actively. I like it.
Yeah. Look, 14.89 to 17. What did we say? 17.60. 14.89 to 17.75. Say 14.50 to 17.75. That's not bad at all. $3.25.
Yeah. Anytime it dips,
pretty wide range.
Anytime it dips into the mid 15s, basically just go long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, I mean, even right now you can go long,
and don't
honestly.
forget to trim at the top end.
Well, it's a very bullish chart. The 9-day is above the 50, is above the 100, is above the 200. It's an extremely bullish chart with a very nice run up. I mean, you could draw a trend line as well, but there's no point because now we're clearly in a trading range. The huge run up is over for now. I think the next catalyst would be earnings, and that might get us higher than 1775.
Yeah. That's when I'm hoping we can get into the 19s potentially.
Yeah. So I think right now, until earnings, not to expect more than trading in the range.
Oh, Stanley's asking albo or bcrx. It's albo, 100%.
Really?
From right now, absolutely.
You mean for buyout or for what to invest?
No, if I had to buy if
money.
I was given whatever, if I was given $100 and I had to only buy one of those stocks, I would put it all in albo right now.
Well, yeah, I have my portfolio is heavily albo right now.
Yeah.
It's probably about 70% albo.
Because I was just looking back to when the phase 3 data was about to come out, albo also didn't really behave how you would have expected, and then you wake up one day and it's $50. So
Let's take a look at one of Dr. J's winners. It's been a winner of many of our followers, Innovis. Innovis has been a steady winner, up 6 today to 123.85. Not a bad movie. The all-time high was made just a few days ago, and it's knocking on the door of the all-time high. The question is, I bought it 104, and do I take something off the table considering it made such a quick move? I hate to, because it's still a bargain. It's still a bargain.
Because I think I sold it right after the Biogen news, and then I lost 20 points and got back in again. So it's like I'm crying over that lost money. So it's very possible that could happen again. But look at that chart. That is so parabolic.
It is.
It's so tempting.
it's just it might be the best bio in the entire market right now. This thing is just unstoppable.
It is. But I think, is it a double top at this point? I think so.
Yeah, that's true. Buying now, you really need to hold long.
125.95.
My question is it time to trim and try to get back in again lower? I thought that would happen.
Maybe you come back in at the 9 at about 1.
Yeah, I mean, I'll trim a little today. I think double top shouldn't be taken too lightly.
Understood.
Yeah, well, let's see. It has time to take that out.
Yeah, but I mean, just because I have a decent bid, I'll trim because I just don't care. If it goes higher, great. I'll buy more later.
Yeah, because you have some. You already have a fair amount.
Let's see how its friends are doing today.
Sava's doing well. Sava's
sort of a moderate version of this, so it's a little bit more trustworthy. So I'm not even thinking of Sava.
I think you have to own both.
Which I do.
Yeah,
that was not nutsy crazy off the line.
I think these are the two best, Sava and Innovis. I like Innovis better.
I think you have to include Anavex as well.
Yeah, I don't know as much about it.
Not even playing with. I'm just riding that one. So whatever.
Yeah, I'm happy to just go like 2/3 Innovis, 1/3 Sava, and just ride that forever.
All right, so there's really nothing to say other than buy all three. Let's just chart Anavex.
I think that's fair. But feel free to pick a favorite and load that one more heavily is all I'm saying.
Well, my favorite of the three is Innovis.
Yeah,
mine's Innovis for sure.
Well, they're both
this one,
long term. Really, even some real answers.
I bought this at 24, so I'm already making nice money to pop to 26. If it ever loads. So this is going to be our last chart because we're over the hour.
We're over the hour.
We did such
Very dense show today because of all the stuff going
a
on.
lot of albo talk, yeah. And we didn't even resolve the strategy. Right? Buy puts, but we didn't look at which puts. We didn't give.
I would say buy some August 30s if you must buy some August 30s.
Or buy some August 25s.
Yeah, that's fine too. But I was looking there. There's not a whole lot of difference in the price. There's no liquidity on those, so you have to just get lucky. The bid-ask spread is super wide. Yeah, nobody's buying or selling these. Nobody, which makes me happy because maybe they think that they're irrelevant.
Well, this one has a very nice support over at 2272. And if it breaks out of this descending channel, I think it's going to fly. So they're all good. You own them all, and we're going to wrap the show right now. All right, so this has been Dr. J, Professor Spike, and I'm streaming live from Long Island. I say bye to Dustin, K, Indonesia, K, Isaac.
Yeah, and thank you to Rusty Limbo for the excellent comments. Some good comments today.
I forgot.
And K. K was very helpful too. All right. Have a good week, everybody.
Everyone, we appreciate all your comments. We'll see you all on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Friday
at
11:30. 11:30, good.
Friday at 11:30. Yeah, that'll work for me. I got a golf round right after. Nice.
All right, so tentatively Friday at 11:30, but please subscribe just in case, we change the time. Hasta la vista, baby.
Hasta la vista, baby. Albo to the moon. Goodbye.